So a few of you asked this question about Nedra's build, which I shared just a few days ago. And of course, I'm not going to leave you hanging. We're going to go ahead and test this out. Let's go. So firstly, I just want to show that I actually managed to hit 1 billion damage today by swapping something out in Nedra's build, which I will share what it was at the end of this video. For now, let's carry on with the testing. So for the Arcane Wind setup, there's two essences I've gone for. The first one is Mistral Rend, which with this one, Arcane Wind now unleashes a condensed arcane vortex that bounces between you and multiple enemies, damaging and slowing them. Enemies already slowed will become immobilized. Arcane Wind damage is increased 18%. Arcane Wind damage is increased by 10% from the Awaken slot. We then have Blood of the Wind on the offhand. With this one, Arcane Wind deals 38% more damage when igniting a firestorm. Arcane Wind damage is increased by 10%. So these are the two essences that most people generally seem to use in the Arcane Wind spam build. So I've not swapped anything else out. Everything else I've kept the exact same. I wanted to keep this test as fair as possible. I'm using the exact same essences on Disintegrate and on Lightning Nova as well. And obviously this Lightning Nova essence does deal quite a lot of damage, so it's going to be interesting to compare the results at the end and to see which one does come out stronger. Already this looks weaker to me. You can see my damage per second isn't as high, which is why I covered Nedra's video, or Nedra's build, sorry, in my video, because it is the best DPS build that I've tried so far. I've looked at so many different ones. I've gone through so many different recommendations that people have given me, and actually out of all of them, Nedra's one is the one that came out on top. And that is obviously with a few things that I'd actually changed myself as well. And with this build, I'm not using primary attack. So some people will be also having their primary set to auto attack to be dealing more damage. I'm not doing that. I'm literally just testing the skills, which is what I did for my other tests as well. So I could potentially hit well over 1 billion damage if I use my primary attack as well. But in 1 minute, we have 738 million damage and 12.293 per second, so quite a vast difference. So 738 in 1 minute and 12.29, so say 12.3 per second, so quite a vast difference compared to what we looked at in Nedra's build video just a few days ago. So this is why I've been using Black Hole instead. We're going to go ahead and test that. I'm just going to stand out here for a moment to let my skill cooldowns, my legendary gem cooldowns reset properly before we go ahead and test Nedra's build again, so that we can compare the two. Okay, so I've given my gems a few minutes to cool off, and so we can get an accurate test here, which would be accurate if I actually managed to hit those hits off Black Hole on the dummy there, which I've had a few misclicks there already. So I may not be able to hit the 1 billion damage mark, but we'll try our best. There's another misclick there, so it's not going to happen. But as you can see, the damage per second that's tracking is already vastly higher than what it was for the Arcane Wind version of this spam build. Now, I don't know if people realize how much testing goes on behind the scenes when I make these videos. Obviously, if I filmed everything I was testing all the time, my videos would just be ridiculously long. I try to keep all of my videos short and to the point, because I know that not everyone has time to watch an hour-long video. That's generally why I try and make bite-sized videos for people. And it's another reason why I wanted to do this quick test only on test dummies, so we can actually see the damage output from each build. And we're coming up to the minute mark now. You can really see it's like over 200 million damage more than the other build already. So in 1 minute, we've got 977 million damage, and we've got 16.288, so 16.29 million damage per second. So this is definitely the stronger of the two builds for myself. Now, what I did swap out was I put in Thunderbird's Bite, so Lightning Nova damage is increased 19% and cooldown is decreased 10%, instead of Radiant Splines. When Lightning Nova deals a critical hit, it emits a charged bolt that deals 15,849 damage, cannot occur more often than once every 1 second. Damage is increased by 90%, Lightning Nova damage is increased by 10%. In theory, on paper, Radiant Splines looks like it should be the stronger option because it's technically increasing damage by 90% apparently, but obviously the Lightning Nova damage coming from Thunderbird's Bite is actually the better option for me personally. Now, things to consider when you're looking at damage is things like Reforges, Legendary Gems. The results may differ for different people depending on what you've got in your setup, depending on if you're free to play, depending on how much you've spent on your resonance gems inside of your gem, or not necessarily how much you spent, but how much you've put into your resonance gems, because because you may get other bonuses from that as well. So that is something to consider. Now, when you look at the breakdown here, when I checked Black Hole originally with Nedra's build, Black Hole was the main damage dealer. However, having the Thunderbird's Bite in this build, you can see Lightning Nova is now the main damage dealer in this build. So that is something else to consider and something else that I found with testing this again. So an interesting test. It's always nice to compare different builds. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on these builds, which one you've been playing with, if you've tried out Nedra's build that I shared yet, and which one you have seen stronger for yourself, because obviously it does depend on playstyle, and as I said, reforges, legendary gems, etc. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I do have memberships available on my channel now. I will be sharing my bloopers there and a few other things as well. But as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.
Official Diablo partner.